There is a connection after this bloody and senseless attack in San Bernardino to politics. The GOP presidential candidates are in Washington today for the Republican Jewish Coalition Forum, but instead of courting mega donors ahead of the all-important early primaries, national security and terrorism are taking center stage in the aftermath of the San Bernardino shooting and the Paris terror attacks. Let's talk about it with Larry Sabato, director of the Center for Politics at the University of Virginia. Every presidential election, one issue predominates. Normally, it's the economy and jobs. Could it be that terrorism is going to be the big issue in 2016, Larry?
Absolutely. Look, it's 11 months to the general election. We all know how things can change, but it's hard for me to believe that after Paris and now California and ISIS here, there, and everywhere, that national security and foreign policy isn't at least going to share the stage equally with domestic politics. It may even dominate depending on events. Now, John, think about this. If we could get each of the Republican candidates separately so that they wouldn't argue and ask them whether they would want to conduct their general election campaign on foreign policy and national security or domestic policy, unanimously they would say foreign policy and national security because the public gives Republicans the edge on that issue. Normally does over time. 2008 was an exception, but by and large that's what they do. The Democrats want the campaign to be about domestic issues. That's what Hillary Clinton would want. For that matter, it's what Bernie Sanders would want.
But which candidates do you think get hurt most by, these flare-ups of terrorism or apparent terrorism?
Two candidates have been hurt more than any others. One a Republican, Ben Carson, one a Democrat, Bernie Sanders. Why? It isn't so much that they have no expertise in foreign affairs, because there are other candidates that have no expertise in foreign affairs. It's rather because their image is not tough. Their image is not stolid. People are looking for toughness. Gee, who's projecting toughness? Donald Trump. And now who's getting a second look? Chris Christie. And there are others. I think Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio probably benefit from this too. But the first two you think of are Trump and Christie.
There is a Bloomberg poll just out, and wanted to share the results with our viewers. What is the most important issue facing the country? As of November, the number saying terrorism has doubled from September when it was at 7%. It is now at 14%. ISIS is at 21%, and unemployment is down at 11%. Clearly, this is front and center. Maybe that's the way the terrorists want it, Larry, but it certainly has penetrated the psyche of the American voter.
It has, and I'll bet you that terrorism number goes up dramatically in the next set of polls.
Pretty hard to have, economic security, jobs, and so forth, as we learned after the 9/11 attacks, if you don't have domestic security. Larry Sabato from the University of Virginia. Larry, thank you.